everything that is was once imagined, because you can't contrive something new. You can't. You can only contrive something that's already been. So anything that you want to new create, or to create anew, you must utilize your imagination. And actually, every moment of every day, we actually utilize our imagination. But too often, our imagination goes into imagining you can't achieve that, I can't achieve this. So there is no lack of imagination. There's just a simple misuse or misunderstanding of it. Either way, even the misuse and the misunderstanding of it will lead you to, when you wake up and become present, it will lead you to imagination in the way we want to use it, which in the way we have the choice or the control of it. All right? So to start off, I always like to start with kind of like a visual meditation, to kind of, because me talking about imagination or anything does not teach anybody anything. The experience of the utilization of it actually teaches. So if you want to learn meditation, talking about it can set you forth, but the only way to learn something is by doing. So meditation teaches meditation, love teaches love, abundance teaches abundance, so forth and so on. So what I'm going to have you do today is gently close your eyes. All right? And I'm going to have you all drift into your own place. I'm just going to place settings. So imagine yourself walking into a bubble. All right? Now picture your physical body inside that bubble. And notice the weightness, and you're actually observing it from the outside the bubble. So you're observing the bubble with your physical body in it. And notice the weightlessness of it, but yet it's supported by the bubble. And as you float, you come to an understanding and thought of lightness. So as you lighten up your body and quiet the mind, now imagine yourself doing what it is you would like to do or prefer to do in this state, in this bubble. Allow the bubble to drift up. Now as you base in that feeling, hold on to the feeling. Not so much on the incidentals of what got you there, although the visuals are definitely a point to starting, but don't hold on to the feeling. And now notice the bubble represents the soul. There isn't a soul in us, but we are in the soul, and we are the soul. So we are the bubble and the corporeal body that lies in it. Now start to imagine wherever you want to take this bubble. Take it up, take it lateral. Now what we're going to do is land the bubble. And as it lands, it comes back to the earth. Take your index finger and poke it. And as it bursts, open your eyes. Now, in order to do that, you had to use your imagination. I just guided you, and I did a very simple guided imagination, but you saw yourself floating in a bubble. Have you ever floated in a bubble before? Again, that's what you just did. So now, if you want to achieve something for the sake of setting forth the experience of it, because that's what we do. We take the imagination to set it forth to do something, but the empirical truth of why we do that is to see what the experience is going to happen. Just like when we go to the movie, we don't want to know what's going to happen. We want to know the theme, so the imagination sets the theme forth into which we're going to go. But we don't want to know what's going to happen. Actually, the better the movie, the more surprised we are at the end. So why would you want to know what's headed for in life? You don't. We think we do. We think we want to be stagnant and still in the moments when we feel good. But then that's what creates, that's what ruins the crop, so to speak. You got to let things grow, cut it down for the next batch to germinate and come up. So once we start to understand that the fact you were able to imagine yourself in a bubble floating, can you imagine yourself running a multi-million-dollar corporation? Can you imagine yourself living in the woods in a cabin? And the answer is yes. And that's where in the previous talks, two of you weren't here, but I talked about one of the things that defeat us from what we want to do is thinking in the form of overthinking. So when we're thinking, and I'll go over this again quickly, because it's a huge part of it, it takes us away in the form of distraction from being presently moment. Imagination works only when we're in the moment to imagine. Otherwise, in the aspect of preferential. Otherwise, it's working, keeping us away from where we want to be. So when we actually start to slow down the thinking is when we become present, and in the present moment, we can set forth the direction in which we want to move, just to set forth the journey to experience what's going to happen. And when we remain present, there will be no surprises come along the way. Most people look at things, that shouldn't have happened, it shouldn't have rained today. And the truth is, empirically, we never know what's supposed to happen. We're not supposed to know what's happening. But the anticipation of this has to happen in order for me to get here is what takes us off guard. And that's what takes us from this present moment.